So the Donald Trump clown show continues.
What's going on today?
Well, he's getting increasingly more crazy, which I guess isn't really the news. But what is news is it feels like he's declaring war now on all of the big blue cities and blue states.
In America, right?
Yeah, I mean, who knows, right? Because we're also getting involved with Israel and Iran, but we don't want to talk about that quite yet. But first, he tweeted out just a few hours ago, and the basic gist of it is that what's happening in LA, he wants to do that to New York, Chicago. He says that by name, and basically those kind of cities. He's like big cities.
So it sounds like he wants more civil war.
Honestly, yeah. And then on top of that, like he keeps talking about, we're going to do the mass deportation, the biggest in history, this kind of stuff. So it's a long post. If you want to read it, you can. I'm just giving you the general gist of it. The problem is, when you think about this, is like when you see what's happening in LA, are there people out there like, oh yeah, I really want that in every city in USA? Like, are there people out there who think that kind of thing?
And even who does the job, Maureen. Oh, I want to go to New York. I want to go to Chicago. I want to arrest people over there.
And NBC News reports tonight that tactical units from ICE, like the ones we have seen this week in LA, have been told to be ready to deploy to 5 other cities run by Democratic leaders. 2 sources familiar with the matter tell NBC News that special response teams, as they're called, teams that use heavy Bearcat-tracked vehicles, long guns, tactical vests, have been ordered to deploy in the following cities: Seattle, Chicago, Philadelphia, the D.C. area, and New York City. And what we are thinking of right now as an L.A. issue, and what we're talking about as an L.A. issue or a California issue, is very much quickly becoming a national issue. And remember the order Trump used to send the National Guard into Los Angeles? Doesn't mention California even once. It's a nationwide order. So Trump pretending these largely peaceful protests warrant troops in the streets of LA matters. I mean, because these protests in no way warrant sending in the National Guard. But legally, importantly, to federalize the National Guard, for the president, any president, to order the National Guard into a state without that state's governor's approval, there needs to be either an invasion, a rebellion, or a belief that the president is unable to execute the laws of the United States.
People were actually making fun of Trump with his parade thing. What they were doing is they were comparing, Trump's parade to like Russia or North Korea, and like, see, this is a real parade, right? And because what's that?
In Korea news, their food even not even matched. It doesn't look that professional.
Right. No, really.
Because I don't know, maybe soldier. I don't want to do it. Why do I have to celebrate Trump's birthday?
No, for real. I mean, and that's the thing is like, if you're a soldier, generally marching isn't really fun as it is, and we're not generally trained to like march in parades like this as something. And plus, it's in the rain, and you're being used as like a for Trump's birthday.
Yeah, for nothing basically.
Yeah.
Not even. I don't know. She does that.
Oh, his birthday?
Yeah, birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Probably not. If you guys want to look that one up, you can let me know if. I wouldn't be shocked if, like, maybe Putin theoretically does that one. If there's any footage out there of,
but I don't know. I don't think everyone's at the parade. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, that's why. If what JD's referring to in the last video, I showed you guys. Like literally, people were singing "Happy Birthday" to Trump, and it sounded awful. So that's kind of what's going on. And Trump actually specifically mentions he wants to use several government agencies for his like biggest deportations thing in history. This is literally what he says. He says to ICE, FBI, DEA, ATF, the Patriots at Pentagon. When you say it that way, Patriots at Pentagon, it sort of gives the implication that not everyone at the Pentagon loves the USA kind of thing. Because kind of what they've been doing at the Trump world is if you're not loyal to him, they'll fire you.
Yeah.
Which isn't really a good way to run the government. Like, you just want people who are competent and capable of their job and also serving the country and the Constitution, right, and the people. Like, your job shouldn't be about, I have to be loyal to Trump. So that's why like this kind of language is dangerous, right? To the Patriots at the Pentagon. It gives that implication that some people aren't. He also says here, and the State Department, you have my unwavering support. Now go get the job done. I'm actually quite concerned here because, will this expand from LA to other cities? It was just what's that?
It's just they just had a like gunshot
Oh,
to the Minnesota.
yeah.
If it's just their star, and plus I don't want him to too much press because those kind of people they see on their name and picture maybe on the paper on the news maybe they're encouraged more. I don't know how those kind of people think.
Okay, so what Yates is referring to, if you guys know what we're talking about here, is there was unfortunately two Democratic lawmakers were targeted. One was killed, her and her spouse, and then another one, it was a guy. So him and his wife were shot several times. They're in the hospital still. And then the guy pretended to be a police officer. He ran off, and actually, I guess the police came and they actually exchanged fire. And then eventually he was just arrested just a few minutes ago. I just saw the report on that. And it's a dangerous situation because there's always misinformation with this stuff. So I noticed the people on the like the YouTubers and X people like on the right, they're trying to claim that he's some crazy Democrat, but it's just the evidence isn't there for that.
And I'm just as excited about Jesus.
Et je suis juste excité
right
de
here,
Jésus.
right now.
Jusqu'à présent, même maintenant.
And when I get excited,
Et quand je suis excité,
I want to dance.
je veux danser.
And what Jesus did for me.
C'est que Jésus a fait pour moi.
Jesus is God.
Jésus est
Almighty
Dieu.
God.
C'est le Dieu
He
puissant.
saved my life.
Il a sauvé ma vie.
Woo! I'm excited about God.
Je suis
We even asked about Mr. Bolter's political affiliations, and David Carlson, once again his roommate and best friend, known him since 4th grade, did say Bolter voted for Trump and that he was a strong supporter.
And did he listen to any particular podcasts or TV shows or anything online that concerns you?
Well, you listen to InfoWars, but I kind of told us that, well, it's like 50% truth. And, I kind of said, don't take everything what they say for granted. I wasn't a real truthful. I mean, they're on for some things, but some things are way off.
Did he talk much about Trump? And what did he say, if so?
I was a Trump supporter. Voted for Trump. If you like Trump, I like Trump. And,
like they talk to his roommates, they talk to his neighbors, stuff like that. He's a Trump person. There's no other way to put it. And so the point being is like as Trump sort of forces the issue and like basically forcing confrontation with people, this thing will get worse. And the big problem here is the language of mass deportation is really the main issue, and getting rid of due process. That's like going to the courts, going to a judge, doing things properly. Because if he wanted to deport people, you could do it. You could find the person that you want to deport.
And, proper steps.
Yeah. So the reason why they don't do it that way is because it takes too long. That's honestly like they'll say stuff like, oh, it's just too slow and we got to do it faster. And so the way they're doing it is just really reckless. And so there's just so much collateral damage with this kind of stuff, right? So the idea is you go and you find one person, and then like if anyone else is in the room, you just arrest them too. And then the other problem is the quota. Quota means like they have to reach a certain number. So like I have to arrest 3,000 people a day. I have to deport 1 million a year. So when you give people like incentive to reach a daily amount that they have to like a goal, a target. It creates a really bad culture. It's the same. So, like for example, let's not talk about deportation.
They're just basically, I don't know. They're kind of
what's that?
Sounds like bounty hunter.
It is. It's kind of like that. I was going to say the mention that, for example, just so everyone can relate. Just imagine if you gave quotas to police officers that you have to find, 100 people a day that are speeding. And what if that particular day not everyone's speeding? What's that?
Plus, the Trump said you don't have to, show them paper. Just go.
Yeah. Just go find me 3,000 people a day.
Go grab people wherever you can go.
Right. So this is where we have so many problems, and I mentioned the right-winger stuff before because I don't show you guys everything because I can just tell you about it because you don't really need to see it. But they're just really heartless is the best way to describe it. So for example, there was a video I saw where there's a van driving, and then there was a woman kind of standing in front of the van, and she was upset. And I don't know the full situation. Maybe the her husband's in the car, or family member, or whatever. It doesn't matter. And then the van just keeps going, and then these right-wing YouTube kind of people, they're laughing. Oh yes, you should run the person over. This is in the USA. These let's be honest, these people aren't good people. And I'm being polite about it because, if guys, I get it more than you. Trust me, we have these conversations. Regardless of which channel or which way you go, I just don't believe in advocating violence or harm to people.
Trying, gunshotting, there's laugh at it. Those kind of people, I think.
Yeah, it's not. Even though say I really dislike certain YouTubers, I wouldn't. I don't want them to get hit by a car. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? We're trying to lower the temperature, not increase it. But unfortunately, in this day and age, if you want to be popular on YouTube, right, you want to laugh at people getting hurt. I guess that's what people think.
It sounds like Trump sounds like he's we say you poured oil on fire.
Yeah. We say gas on the fire. It's the same kind of thing. So yeah, that's essentially what it is, and it's frustrating because leadership matters. So, leader of a country, leader of a group, or, say an influencer on social media, is kind of set the tone, the conversation. And then people who, aren't really sure, they don't have the, because there's people out there that don't have their mind made up. They're just oh, well, that person sounds like they're trustworthy. That person sounds like they're trying to take care of me. So I will follow them, right? And that's essentially what's that?
And this is the Trump, your president. When they post something, they're really careful their word by word, but he just gives.
Yeah, and I'll have to bleep that out. No, it's a real problem. Normally in the past, there's different ways you can look at it. So in the past, oftentimes things are written by your PR department, right? Your marketing and PR. Now, sometimes, to be fair, sometimes stuff that's on Trump's account is clear it's not him. So the joke is, if it has a bunch of cap letters, if it has misspellings, if it doesn't really make a lot of sense, that's probably Trump, right? Probably. Other times it'll be kind of makes more sense. It's that doesn't even sound like him, but it's still coming from his account. And so either way, the stuff that you're going to bring point though, usually, the words that you say and the way that you say it, certainly matters. And that's why, I'm very careful the stuff that I say. I disagree with people, but I don't advocate for violence. And the big scare that we have right now because of the situation in Minnesota, and I'll put it this way, I don't want to live in a world where we all have to put bars on our windows and put fences everywhere, and everyone has to hire private security.
You can't even open the door for pizza delivery.
Yeah, no, seriously. So that's the situation that we're in, and you don't want that kind of world. So you don't want to encourage this kind of stuff. And
a moment in this country where we watched violence erupt. This cannot be the norm. It cannot be the way that we deal with our political differences. Now's the time for us to recommit to the core values of this country. And each and every one of us can do it. Talk to a neighbor rather than arguing. Debate an issue. Shake hands. Find common ground. This is who Melissa Hortman was. In the first negotiating session that I had a chance to work with her, she got all the partners in the room, and she provided each and every one of us a copy of a book called Getting to Yes. And the whole premise was debating with a sense of goodwill, a sense of trying to come to compromises that serve everyone. And because of her, we did that. Because of her, we did that year after year after year. That's the embodiment of how things are supposed to work. It's not about hatred. It's not about mean tweets. It's not about demeaning someone. It's leading with grace and compassion and vision and compromise and decency. That was taken from us in Minnesota with the murder of Speaker Hortman. So for each and every one of us to truly honor, and we will continue to honor that spirit.
And then the main thing that really bothers me about sort of what you'll see on social media and stuff like that, and honestly, guys, it's from both the right and the left. And people get mad when I say that because they just want their team to win. Is people just make stuff up, you know? Or they'll take something that's very, very weak evidence, very, very weak. Like say, hey guys, I saw this, posting on Craigslist, or hey guys, I saw this posting on Twitter, and I didn't check anything. It's something that I think is really funny, and I want to show it to you. Like, guys, I see all sorts of crazy stuff on social media, and I don't show you everything because I can't verify if it's real, and you've got to be really careful. But for other people, their goal is just like, I have to show what I want to be true, right?
But they don't really check that. They don't fact check at all. They just read on thread and stuff.
Yeah. It's that kind of stuff.
They think that's true, right?
Yeah, and it's really a problem, and that's kind of what's the most popular. As long as so I'll give you a simple example here in Korea. There was some like wild rumor that
That's not even a rumor. Actually, I mute that account. Sometimes they just show me the random post, right?
Oh, so there's like certain accounts that just sort of just like
so I
nonsense.
saw that, there's a not rumor, just one post that it's the one Korean American sued the President Lee in USA. But if it's illegal, the USA government arrests our President Lee immediately.
Yeah, it's not really gonna happen.
It's not even happen. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's total false.
But that's the kind of stuff you'll see on social media, right?
And people comment a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, really? This is gonna happen? Are you sure?
So I'll give you an example of the conspiracy theories that's in U.S. stuff. Is like the right wing people are saying now that like Biden has a bunch of clones running around, like that, like stuff like that. It's like it's so absurd. It's like okay. And so, like, how do you have conversations with that kind of people? And unfortunately, that's the stuff that's out there on social media. So, this drives much of what the algorithms are all about. Oh, I want to click that. Oh, is that real? And so, like, if you come on, say, YouTube, which honestly, what I try to do is just talk like a regular person. To some people, it seems like really strange.
Yeah,
like some people think talking like a real person is strange.
Even Chris is sometimes not angry, but when I say something not accurate, he's kind of, oh no, you shouldn't say that. You does that.
Yeah. Because you have to be careful of the stuff that you say. So, guys, I just want to make sure you're really clear on this stuff. I don't advocate for violence in any way, shape, or form, and that's the last thing that we want in the USA. And also tell you the truth of this. Unfortunately, Trump is kind of pushing for that kind of stuff, and it makes it really hard to have these honest conversations. However, to be fair, just if you want some inspiration from U.S. history, just look at the civil rights movement. There was a lot of non-violent, peaceful protests, and that's really what moved the country forward. So, what happens is the way this game is played. There are many people out there in the country. So if you're watching this channel, you're probably interested in this kind of topics, right? But there are many people out there in the country that are kind of neutral. They don't pay attention that much on TV. They don't necessarily watch all the news. But if they turn on the TV and they see what they think is like crazy people on TV, or they see violence, pretty much regular people don't like that stuff, right? So that's why when you hold these protests and you have to do like protest training, it's like, we're just going to be nonviolent. If the police come and arrest us, just put our hands up, and that's that kind of stuff. Like you actually have to train people to do things properly the right way. So I hope you guys understand my point of view on that stuff, and that's sort of why, you need leadership to show people. And this also goes for, say, police officers. If you train police officers properly, you train the, say, ICE people properly, all these kind of things, that you do everything by the book, if you guys get what I'm saying. And guys, I completely understand. You can say, well, Chris, but Trump isn't doing things by the book. And I agree. And I will tell you truthfully about that. So that, again, this all goes back to, you want strong leadership to do things the right way, and you want to lead by example. So that's my thoughts on this stuff. I want to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video. So, bye.